So in 2009, when Mr. Shashi Tharoor decided to take the poll plunge, he was called the outsider. He's very much the insider now. So he's one of our first guests on this special program. Thank you so much for joining us. But you know, forced time need not always be lucky. It's a tough competition. The BJP is in full mood to take you on. Are you scared? Are you nervous?
Not at all.
Or fingers
scared.
crossed?
Look, I mean, the thing is that, look, whoever the opposition puts up, and don't forget, it's not only the BJP, we have the communists from whom I took the seat. In fact, the gentleman who was the sitting MP when I took the seat in 2009, he's contesting again, Mr. Paniyan Ravindran. So we've got a three-cornered fight on our hands. And the challenge for me is, of course, the communists take some of the left-leaning vote and the BJP takes some of the other kind of vote. And the result is that as the centrist candidate, I have to try and appeal to people on both sides, which is an interesting position to be. It's worked for 3 elections in a row, and I'm hoping it will continue working in the 4th time.
you know,
I've got a 15 years record of service in the constituency that I can talk about and point to.
Okay. But you know, Mr. I remember within the Congress party, and since I cover the Congress, so I know it very well, you are that uncomfortable person for them, for many of them, a maverick and someone, you know, you dare to take on and contest the presidential elections. Do you think that was the right thing to do? Or in hindsight, you think maybe you could have avoided that a bit? You earned quite a few enemies, right?
Look, I mean, the problem is, you know, why somebody wants to become an enemy is up to them to determine. I have no enemies from my point of view. I don't feel any enmity to anyone myself. As far as I'm concerned, I'm the kind of person who says there's enough space in this world for various people, various ideas, various initiatives. I didn't come here to be anybody's rubber stamp. I came because I have some individuality to offer, some ideas of my own. I write books.
But in a party like the Congress party, is that easy?
I'm not saying that it's necessarily welcome to everyone, but I think it's welcome to some. And certainly many people have shown me appreciation for things I've said, things I've written. But at the same time, I understand what you're saying. If some people find it awkward to accept that, but the truth is, I can't be anyone other than who I am. When I was invited by the Congress leadership in 2009 to contest, they knew perfectly well who I was. I mean, the people who asked me, namely Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Dr. Manmohan Singh, had both known me for some time, and they knew what they were getting. Now, there are others who may not, as you say, be comfortable, but I don't think that's a major issue in the Congress party. Otherwise, I wouldn't be getting nominated again for a 4th time.
But do you have a good equation with Rahul Gandhi?
I think so. I think so. I mean, he and I have worked together on various issues over the years, and I have enormous respect for his extraordinary energy and contributions to the party. I have no reason to think that I have any problem with him.
But you know, Rahul Gandhi hates the Prime Minister, he hates the BJP, that's his politics, so fair enough. But you don't necessarily hate, because you have lots of point of views which seems to be more akin to the BJP, your stand on Hindutva for that matter, foreign policy.
No. In fact, you got that wrong, Pallavi.
And also, the fact that you were the brand ambassador for Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and the Prime Minister spoke about you publicly. I don't think many in the Congress party were happy with that.
Okay, so let me push back on all of those. Number one, I've never had acceptable views to them on the Hindutva. I have said that Hindutva is very un-Hindu. I am a Hindu. I've written an entire book saying why I am a Hindu and explaining the Hinduism that I have understood, which comes straight from the teachings of Swami Vivekananda and from my reading, admittedly in translation, of our scriptures. To my mind, Hinduism, one of its core defining characteristics is its acceptance of difference. Different forms of worship, different ways of being, different ways of reaching out to the divine inside us and in the cosmos. That essential notion is absent from Hindutva, which is a very, it's not only a political doctrine, but a rather narrow and totalizing political doctrine that tries to reduce the soaring majesty of the Upanishads and the great works of Hindu literature and philosophy into something like a team identity. That's not what Hinduism should be all about, in my view. So I have absolutely no patience for Hindutva while being very proud of being a Hindu. And there is a difference, and please read my book and you'll understand
I'll do that.
Number one. Number two,
yes, the Prime Minister.
when
you
talk
don't dislike
about,
him, you don't
I
hate
don't think
him.
Rahul Gandhi goes around hating anyone. He's talking about sort of the love as a principle, muhabbat ka.
He doesn't love the Prime Minister, sure.
No, but the point is, he's gone hug the Prime Minister. I haven't. So the point is that accusing him of hatred is not fair. Hatred is probably not in our vocabulary. Certainly, I don't hate anyone. And there are many people who I know hate me, and I don't hate them back because
so tell us,
life
who
is too
hates
short.
you?
I don't know.
In the Congress party,
you're
who
the
hates
media.
you?
You report to me. I mean, as to where the hatred comes from.
So
But I'm just saying to you, the bottom line is at the moment, that we are all within the Congress party entitled to our own views on various issues, provided on the core principles we have certain convictions. I honestly don't think, for example, that there is room for any kind of Hindutva, soft or hard, in the Congress party. I don't think there is room for a kind of India shining narrative when we can see the stark reality of India's economic challenges today and the way in which so many ordinary people are suffering in the last 10 years. We have to face up to that and talk about it. So on some of these core issues, there is no difference of opinion. Now, there are some slight areas of nuance. The Congress party has always been a fairly big tent. On economics, I'm probably on the right wing of the Congress party. On liberalism, I'm on the left wing of the Congress party. I'm the one guy who stood up and said, let's decriminalize homosexuality.
But you know,
and I didn't get much support.
Very interesting point you raised, because many people criticize Rahul Gandhi for being like a kind of an NGO and too influenced by the left. And here you are fighting the left in Kerala.
Yeah.
I mean, his mentor is someone like a Sitaram Yechuri. Isn't that a contradiction?
I don't think Sitaram is a mentor. I think Sitaram is a friend of Rahul Gandhi's. And look, let's face it, we have a lot of meeting points with the Communist Party when it comes to issues of secularism, for example. When you're looking at how we reject communalism, so do the communists, and there's no particular problem there in finding common ground. But on other issues, of course, we disagree with them. We disagree with the communists on economics. We disagree with them on their ideology, which, frankly, is a 19th century superstition that the whole world has outgrown except these poor, sort of deluded Marxists in India. And we also disagree with them on their politics of violence. In Kerala, the Communist Party, Marxist, is a party of goons and thugs by and large. They go around essentially
But in Bengal,
assaulting people.
Okay with
Look,
them?
I had high school years in Calcutta, and I have no better impression of the Communist Party in Bengal either. Now, if they're changing, so much the better. Obviously, you don't imagine Sitaram Yechuri going around clubbing anyone to death.
But what about
You
the
can
Ram
talk to
Mandir?
him.
Do you think that was a mistake which was made by the Congress party to skip the Pran Pratishtha? Would you have gone if you had been invited?
No, I wasn't invited mercifully, but as I said, I go to a temple to pray. I don't go there for a political event. Why should I go for an event in which the Prime Minister is the starring, the featured star, and Ram is a walk-on prop? I would go when I go to a temple to pray. And I have no objection to going at some other point. In any case, as a Hindu, I'm very, very curious both about Kashi Vishwanath and about the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. And I don't say, I've already been to Mathura, and I've already been to many other prominent temples, not because I advertise them or talk about them or I'm going there for any political purpose, but when I have the opportunity. You know, we believe in this concept of the Bulawa. You'll go to a temple when you are summoned, and somehow you feel that summons. So when I went to Pashupatinath, for example, in Nepal, it's because I had an opportunity to go to Nepal, and I was able to go and see and pray and so on. I'm not going there for a political event. So why should I go for this political event?
You have been a victim of much abuse yourself, and therefore your language has been kind of very reticent, suave. That's what people say. You're a master of a language. You're English. I don't even have to tell you that. But then when you have someone like a Lalu Prasad Yadav making a personal attack on the Prime Minister, on his personal life, do you think that is something which should be avoided? Because it just gives a handle to the BJP.
I'm not here to judge any of my senior political colleagues. They all have been in politics longer than I have. I mean, I'm fully conscious of the fact that I've been in politics for just a decade and a half, and that's not long enough to give lectures to others. All I can say is how I can be. And there are some things I can't do and won't do. I don't abuse. I don't I don't like to disrupt. Even in Parliament, I don't reduce politics to an art of personal attack. I think we're in politics because we have a vision of a better India. That's what I'm in politics for. And there are others who have a different vision. It is my legitimate requirement to actually contest their vision, and at the same time to say, listen, I believe my way is better, and to persuade my voters why my way is better. That's it. I don't think that pulling people down. I said yesterday when the media asked me after my nomination, I said, look, I have never in 15 years ever needed to make a personal attack on anybody. I've never done one day's negative campaigning. I don't see why I should start now. Okay. So whoever runs, I welcome them, I respect them, and let's hope it's a fair and civilized contest.
Okay, two, three quick questions before I let you go.
Yeah.
What is it that has upset you most about your political career? The fact that your personal life became vulnerable and just about anybody can say anything to you, does that hurt you?
There was a lot of malice. There was a lot of malice which is very, very difficult to fathom. Yes, you're right that, when my wife passed away, instead of joining me in mourning, people chose the opportunity to invent and fabricate the most absolutely horrendous accusations, which in the end, fortunately, a very civilized judge in a detailed 78-page judgment has refuted every one of them and thrown them out.
But yet you don't regret joining politics. You think
No,
that's
of course
just
there
one
were
of
moments at that time that I wished I knew that none of this would have happened if I weren't in politics.
Yeah.
Because the point is that I became fair game to a lot of people who don't happen to agree with me politically, and therefore took this as an opportunity to bring me down. That's not nice. And the fact is that if you ask me what are the things I've had to resent about my life in politics, that's one. And earlier there was the other set of unfair accusations that made me resign a ministry where I was actually making a difference. So I will say that on both these matters, I feel I've had the raw end of the stick. But at the same time,
You don't regret it. You
at
want
the
to be in
same time,
politics.
why did I come back, Pandit? I came back because I had fortunately had the great privilege of making something of a difference on the global stage through the United Nations, leaving my smudgy thumbprints on the footnotes of the pages of history, whether it was the Yugoslav crisis, whether it was the Vietnamese boat people crisis. Some of the major events of our time happened to have my involvement in ways that I can look back upon as having played a part in the evolution of something important. When I was given an opportunity by the Congress Party and by Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and Dr. Manmohan Singh to actually try and come and make a difference to my own people in my own country, I leapt at the opportunity. I didn't know anything about what I was getting into. Forget about participating in politics. I'd never even voted, because when I left India at the age of 19 to go and study in the States, the voting age was 21, so I'd never even voted, never participated in any election. I said yes without realizing what I was coming in for. And so the Agni Parikshas followed, and there were several of them. At the end of the day, I believe I've come through. I won't say unscathed, but I've come through. I think people still, a large number of people anyway, see me for who I am, see the whole me, and don't see the caricature and the viciousness and the nastiness only. But unfortunately, there are haters in our politics, and there are some people who only see me through a negative lens. Am I going to let myself be defined by the haters, or am I going to just be secure in myself and who I am and what I know myself to be, what I know I believe in, what I know I'm capable of, and do the best I can for my people?
So
I'm
15 years
not sort of doing this as a lifetime career. I've already had a lifetime career. Touch wood, I'm reasonably secure. I'm not somebody who needs anything out of politics. I'm only here to give to politics. That's the big difference. I'm here because I want to serve, and as long as I feel I can make a difference, or there's a chance of trying to make a difference, I will.
So 15 years later, what is it that you can give to Thiruvananthapuram, which say a Rajeev Chandrasekar cannot?
What I can give to Thiruvananthapuram, first of all, is a vision of the future in concordance with the Kerala tradition of respect for diversity, respect for different voices, respect for other religions and faiths, which sadly the BJP does not share. That's the first and most important thing. Second, pretty much all the things that I've been working on in Thiruvananthapuram that I've worked will continue to be there. There's the national highway, which had been blocked for 40 years, which I was able to unblock during the last years of the UPA government, get the project approved, get the land acquired, chase up every stage of the process, from the surveys to the Gazette notification, to make sure that the road could be built. And then I cooperated with Mr. Gadkari in seeing it through, going 100 times to different locations, finding out the community objections, talking to the NHII, resolving them. That's the kind of attention to detail that I'm capable of. I don't want to judge other people, but I know what I've done. Similarly, I can pursue various other projects that I know matter. I'm the guy, for example, who brought Oracle to Trivandrum by getting into a video conference, finding out the number of at that point the Indian CEO there, talking to him, persuading him that he needed to be in Thiruvananthapuram. Now they're flourishing there in the Technopark of Trivandrum. I did the same with Nissan's IT division, whose head still remains a friend, even though he's now left them and the company is already established. I've been talking to other companies like that in a way in which, as a genuine representative of the people, I'm able to do so. I don't know what other people can do. I'm not comparing myself to anyone else, but I know what I've done, and the people of Thiruvananthapuram know what I've done. It's because of my international relationship with the Foreign Minister of the UAE that we have a UAE consulate in Thiruvananthapuram. It's because of my initiatives that we have an honorary consulate of Sri Lanka in Thiruvananthapuram. The internationalization of Thiruvananthapuram is to a very, very large extent because of my initiatives. So all of these things I've done. And then what is most important of all, I would say, is that daily, 40 to 50 people come to me every single day with requests, petitions, complaints, problems, and I've serviced every single one of them without exception, day after day for 15 years. If that isn't worth something, then good luck
But
to
you
these
don't,
people.
if you haven't run out of words. I mean, you know, your English is impeccable, but you don't run out of words, or you discover new ones every day.
You know, words are something that, from childhood I've always enjoyed. My dad was a bit of a word maven, and he sort of infected me with his bug, and I'm very happy that I've enjoyed that. Even this every
So
way
someone
morning
who's contesting elections for the 4th time round and not willing to give up, is there one word in English for that?
a recidivist.
Oh
a
my God.
recidivist is somebody who does the same thing over and over
So
again.
that's what you are.
I'm
And
afraid
before
so.
we pack up, for Thiruvananthapuram, would you want to say something in Malayali? I think you corrected me the last time. That's the right one.
Malayalam.
Okay, Malayalam. Sorry, I stand corrected. Something you would want to say to them?
ഞാൻ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണ്ടി 15 വർഷം സേവനം ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഇനിയും ചെയ്യാൻ തയ്യാറാണ്. എനിക്ക് വോട്ട് തന്നിട്ട് നിങ്ങളെ സേവനം ചെയ്യാൻ ഇനിയും അവസരം തരൂ. നമസ്കാരം.
Thank you very much to speaking to CNN News 18 and all the best.
All the best, Mallikarjun.
Thank you.